All right, so we're live on Facebook. Broder's downloading Zoom to his Linux. It's going to take another few minutes, so I'm going to play a video from a Soulogy soul gathering we had in Sedona a couple of weekends ago. I'm going to just go right through it. We're going to start out with some Kimberly Griffin and Shekinah Rose performing at the beginning. This is a little warm up that we're doing when we started.
Excellent. I need a cameraman. You want to do this? All right, we got the sound check done. Shekinah, Kim, and Robert. I'm Todd Medina. This is SoulogyOneStudios and it's the energy of Soulogy. Just a direct reflection, a mirror of the universe. We're adding additional frequencies to an ever-expanding vibration. Everyone and everything is welcome in the house of Soulogy. This is the first of many, many soul gatherings that we're going to be doing. Thank you, Shekinah Rose, for making this happen. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. We're transmitting this from Sedona all around the world into the Soulogy community. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
We're still waiting on Broder. And don't worry, it's all going to go off. He's downloading right now. In more ways than one, I'm sure. He's still downloading. Let me just send him a note. He says that he is going to get a better camera next week, and he wants to do more videos so he can share with the world what's happening with him and what he's getting. You know, he's only been on the show one time, and I think, to my knowledge, has only made, I believe, one or two other videos, short ones on his own. But he's one of the many, many people around the world who have been receiving information for a long period of time, and some for not that long, that are getting real quality intel. And I think it's important that we share this and not to be embarrassed about it, not to feel weird about it, and to let this weirdness in this part of ourselves that we're not so familiar with, let it come out. I think there's a lot of code in it, and uh, and I think when we start to respect everybody's reality, uh, that this world becomes a more expansive experience. Somebody says they're getting a weird echo. Anybody else? Just let me know. Hello, Amanda Lawrence. How you doing? Thank you for sharing your experience and sharing your intel with everybody these last few years. I find it very interesting that these memes that you're putting up that say there's a big energy wave coming in, they're getting more and more frequent and more powerful. There's no doubt about it. But yeah, there's a lot of people around the world that have shared stuff like Amanda for quite some time, and there's also a lot of people there that haven't, and so I would encourage everybody to do that, because it does wake up your brothers and sisters, regardless of how or where you think they're at or how far along they are or aren't in relation to your own experience. I think everybody's beating the same vibration, it just doesn't look that way. So yeah, I would encourage everyone to, um, yeah, you were on two. She was on Zoom and Facebook at the same time. That's why she had an echo. But I would encourage everybody to pick up the camera, pick up a recorder, get the pencil out, start typing, just express your experience. It's not about what transmissions and downloads and information we're getting. That's important. It's about the fact that it's actually happening. What does that do to us? What effect does that have on the emotional body, the mental body, the physical body, the ego body, the soul body, all of that stuff? I think this is where our highest activations, downloads, and transmissions and code sharing come from. So we're going to just keep putting out more and more programming. We're settled in a very secluded cabin in Northern California. I think we've been here 3 nights. It's already been, as usual, full of a lot of personal experiences. But one thing we are doing is focusing on the broadcasting. Going to be doing a daily radio show. We've done that for the last 2 days, where we play clips from all these Soul Speaks 5Ds, play some music, do some commentary. I might do a little spirit rap, whatever. And we just hang out. We did it for 4 hours yesterday on the full moon. We had a really good time. We had a great reception. And we're going to do it again today. But we got a couple of more shows. We got Broder's coming on here in a few minutes. And then we're going to have Danny Picard in about an hour and 15 minutes. And we may even have to push that back a little bit, depending on how everything goes. Let's see what he's got here. Well, he's sending me a picture of his download, which looks to be about 60% done, 70% done. That's okay. So let me send him a thumbs up and tell him no worries. I tell him no rush. There is no linear. All right. So one of the other things that we're doing too, or I'm just kind of playing around with, trying to see what works, what people like, and I'll have a comment on that in a second. Is putting up these watch parties where we're just putting like 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 hours of clips from the Soul Speaks 5Ds, full length clips of the 5D program, music, some live stuff, music and commentary, and just mix it all up together so people can just kind of pop in every now and then and see what's going on and see if there's something they can, it's kind of like going down a news feed. Just pop on the Soulogy channel that's running 24 hours on my Facebook page and the Soulogy pages and see if you catch a wave. You might, walk into a conversation or into a artistic or musical expression that just gives you what you need. This is kind of how we're all floating through it. And it's just our effort to try to assist in doing that. So you'll be seeing some of that, and then of course the radio program. And then we're going to keep on loading up the schedule of the Soul Speaks 5D as the producer sees fit. I'll let her control that energy because she's better at it than me. There's a nice flow to it when she's putting it all together. So let's see, what do we got here? Who is near the fires and power outages north of LA? I've seen a little bit of that, but as we speak that into existence, it starts to cure itself. You know, it's interesting because we know Mother Earth's going through the same thing we're going through. And if we're able to process these things faster and with more ease and grace than we were before, then she is too. So everything's getting better. We're all moving the right direction and we're all coming together. That's the main thing. Uh, so he's going to probably be another few minutes, I would think. It's 15 minutes. He may be another 10 minutes. So let me play a little bit more of that program from. All right, let me get it set up first. From Sedona, it was a Soulogy Soul Gathering. We had a lot of people there. We had Shakina Rose, Kimberly Griffin, Tom Whitebear came from Delaware, played some flute. He did a freestyle flute with Romeo Barron, who drove her up with his friend from LA. And he did a freestyle to the native flute that Tom Bear was playing. And he also did a freestyle with Shakina Rose. Let me see if I can find that one. That was really cool. Hang on one second. Oh, there's Broder. All right, hang on. All right. Okay, let's get it worked out. Okay, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Really?
Can you hear me? I think you have a speaker on.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. I'm going to send you a little note. It's going to say to start your video. But we can hear you. That's the main thing.
Okay.
No.
Now.
You got it? There you go. What's going on, brother?
Oh, I don't know where to start.
Well, let me start by saying thank you for stepping forward. Thank you for sharing everything that you share. And this is on behalf of everybody. Everybody has a lot of interest in what you're downloading and experiencing. And we know it's a lot on a human aspect to take in that kind of power or that kind of information with that force, with that much consistency. So we recognize that. We know it takes a lot. So I just want to say thank you. So you can start wherever you want to start. It's good to see you.
I would like to start with just letting the audience know more about who I am and what I have been doing. And I'm just a normal human being born here, and when I had my first activation 2003 with it was like I got so many interest in the physics, the quantum physics, the astronomy, just some kind of activation that drove me further to explore more of the life on Earth and science. And I have always been interested in medicine. Because I have problem with my body. It's this body is for experimentation. I have used my body to just experiment all kind of things, in healing crystals, uh, drugs, substances, medicines, herbs, and this and this and this, and uh, but I, uh, I have been very curious to explore the consciousness, explore the body, and how it functions. So when this first activation started 2003, I just had this understanding, or knowing that I had this passion to just learn more about the human body and how the function and the psychology and everything uh, in the normal society, And it took me few years when uh, I I really did research. That was my passion for I spend 10, 12 hours every day on reading, studying, and just finding information so I could just understand more. So I learned that the most of diseases are caused by autoimmune reaction, and autoimmune reaction are caused by viruses and food and so on. And why don't the doctors and those see the viewpoint uh, as I can see, that if you want to eliminate autoimmune reaction in the body, you have to begin with viruses, bacteria, and also the food, and that will create better well-being. So there was so much conflicting in the normal, the the mainstream channels and the alternative, and then I was interested in this alternative that uh, alternative views, because my own understanding led to that the doctors doesn't they don't know what they are doing, and so I began to research about the body, and I have used my body as a experimentation vessel. I have tried so many herbal medications and the medications that they have in hospitals here, there, just to see how that kind of meditation will affect, and what if I have pain and I take morphine, does it take away the pain? No, but it gives me a euphoria. It makes me feel good, but it doesn't take away the pain. So um, I have tried all kind of medications that the pharmaceutical companies are pumping out, just to try them, and then I know how they work, because I'm very observant, that I can really, when I try something, I just sit in the stillness and observe, and just observe what's happening in my body. So I can write down the note how it actually affects, and if this medication makes me tired, or if I or what kind of uh, I lost myself there, but I will be back on the track.
Let
But the
me
thing,
let me ask you something. No, we got you on that. No, that was a great explanation. So you researched like 12 hours a day for a long period of time because this started in 2003. Have you Where have you learned the most from? Have you learned it from the stuff that you researched or from your own communication with your body?
the most, uh, the most, uh, uh, the, uh, the most um, uh, things I have learned are those things that just when you read something, and it's like you uh, you remember something, but it's not just remembering. It's just that it's so deep inside of yourself, a deep remembering. It it creates tears. It creates so much, like you start to cry because you remember things. You cry and you cry, you cry, you see your memories of your uh, your light body. Uh, the light body contains the memories. So we had a global, this was actually a global mass activation of four density light bodies. And
When did this happen?
2008 August, 2008 August, first activation 2003. This activation was for preparation for the 4D light body. Okay, this can be confirmed by many, and it happened on a global scale. The light body activation is it's a profound moment. It's actually something that's changing your life. My first activation, 4D, 4 density light body activation, made me very, when I saw someone talk about the advanced races and they talked to them, I cried. I cried so much because I start to remember things, The light body activation is the change of the life that you start to, you start to explore things that you had no interest in before. That's happened 2008 on a massive level around the world. Uh,
So
it's
where do we? I was going to ask you. So this is like a deep, profound story. I mean, your whole story, like so many of these stories. Where do you see things right now? The last time we talked to you was probably what, 6 months ago, and you talked
yes,
a lot
yes,
about Altia, and
yes,
we read some of your post, and at the time that you were speaking all this and writing all this, it sounded like a very, very uh, um, powerful, like something was building, like there was universal assistance and things like that. Where do you see things now? I mean, what kind of intel have you been getting? Because I know you get it often because you write about it a lot. But where do you see things right now? What's happening?
Uh, I have been the presentation of my work is not perhaps well known, because the ancient teachers, it's a planetary ascension, and the whole planet, oi, the whole planet lifts up, and I don't think that uh, I myself understood what I did when I started to breathe differently, and I went into something. I was in my body, but I was somewhere else in sensation and creating grid portals. I became grid portal. Uh, I uh, I sensed every movement, left, right, rotation. I could feel the, the whole, when it's created, the whole grid portal is created. I create this by my other being, by my uh, my uh, my energy that I take from up there into earth and create a portal. And I've worked with that portal for so many years. Uh, and when it was 2014, the 2014, the 2nd or 3rd January, that's when 5D light body activation happened on a massive level. 2014, February, 2nd February.
February.
Uh,
Mm.
uh, when that activation happened, uh, the whole I'm very sensitive person, and it made me even more sensitive. The portal that I was uh, imagine making in my imaginations in my room, a huge portal in my room beside my bed, that I have been not just imagination, but I have become that portal many times, and uh, the it's the same portal that I made for you there. The
Yeah.
first the first was just a vortex field, and then they came one circle. After I don't know it, I don't know time, but it's I think it's in 1 year or something. Over the 1 year period, a circle was around that portal, and that circle had the 12 crystals, exactly as the portal you saw there. And
Yeah.
after some months or so, the second circle was created. So I just, it's encoded in myself how to do this grid work, planetary work, how to connect to stars and and drag their energy, not drag, but it's like talking to energies. It's intelligent energy that needs to be connected to grids as it was planned. But by connecting it, you have to also you have to reach the energy first, feel the energy, and you just welcome the energy down to earth and connect it to the grids. And that's what I have been doing since 2008, connecting energies from stars, different stars, from motherships, huge motherships. I don't know what kind of constellation or so, but it's a teamwork. And it's the thing is that when we don't force change, we don't say to humanity, here is next upgrade to you. Here is next. It's someone inside ask. There are many people who are doing the same work as I do. The calling have to come from inside. Can you send us DNA upgrades?
Yeah.
Those beings.
So
from Pleiadians, from those, to send us humans genetic upgrades. This is how it works. They don't send it and say, here you got your next. We have to request. It's so delicate balance between planets, stars. The finer balance between different realms. When you are from our realms where you work with star energies, you have to have a connection point, energy from that star births as a human being. And that connection point is encoded with exactly what to do and when to do. And that connection point connects to star, connects to itself, and and connect the energy to earth. And then they connect a new energy to earth. It's a beautiful process, connecting energy to earth, because no one is forcing our evolution. We are creating our evolution by being born here and working from the surface of the planet. And inside of the planet.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, and this is really cool, I love this explanation. What you're saying is that from our own location, in our own bedroom or in our own house, we can create a portal. Nobody has to tell us how to do it. We can create a portal. And we also, by participation, well, okay, the portal is run by our imagination, and by participation, we are actually creating this evolution. It's actually going to be and is what we want it to be. The more conscious we are, the better it will be. Not only will it be ease and grace, but it'll be fantastical, supernatural, and creation in motion in the physical. Something like that.
I love you, brother. The thing is that past this month, I don't know if I'm Bilal anymore. You know, it's
Yeah.
totally different energy now. So yes, I call myself Bilal and or Brother Bilal, and most of you know that my passion is to help the ascending tribes, to help the ascending tribes, mainly those who are going to stay here and help the rest. I I I want to help. I want to create. Oh, it's the thing that when you come down here and you have this this mission that or this planning with the council that you're gonna do, but the it's not easy to it's not I uh, I try to stay away from this dark versus light polarity and this battle between dark and light. For me it's totally something different. It's a learning. It's a learning about its motion of energies moving. It's about um, I I don't operate from this light versus dark, battle polarity. It's uh, if I love the whole uh, how everything is so perfect when it comes to the experience that Earth is
It's a hell of a portal. It's
no, but
yeah,
I pick up feelings from
yeah.
from my surrounding now because it's just that I just got this camera and mic working for the first time, and it's our first interview,
Yeah.
and
No,
not
you're
first,
good.
but
You're good.
our first
No,
interview.
you're doing great. And here's another thing I'm pulling out of this that I just want to share with everybody because I think we're all getting it. The thing about what you just said now. First, you said we can through your own story, we can create a portal right where we're at. And then not only that, that's not just some kind of game or magic trick, but it's run by our imagination. We can connect to the akashic, the ancient aspects of whatever of the universe, and anchor it to the earth. And there's something that happens when we do that. We talked about that for a second. And then you said you don't operate in the dark and the light, and I totally agree with you. That's why what you said is so important because it's more important than what's happening on the global stage. There's always been a story about good guys and bad guys on the global stage, and there still is today. So I don't care what happens out there. What you're describing is the most important thing we can do to enhance our experience and raise the vibration. That is to participate, uh, create our own portal from the portal that we are, anchor in these energies that you're talking about onto the earth, and we don't even know how great that can be, but we sure can try. So thank you for sharing that.
We can create a portal, a dimensional portal. It's about the uh, uh, when when uh, uh, when there was a rare solar eclipse, 2017, August 23, I think. And I just uh, the Swedish, we call them MUST, Swedish Military Secret Service. they they love to run around with their things and measure energy that is generated when I do things. Uh, they are curious. They don't know what we are doing. Their sensors can't really pick up, but they pick up something very. I I can tell you stories that, you know, it's the the work done from this body by the energy field in this body is heavily monitored by Swedish Secret Military Service. They have not done me any wrong. They have not got, they don't interfere with this. They are just curious, you know. I have talked to them. I have no interest in joining them and obey their laws and do a ritual and be and borrow my body to fourth density or fifth density Anunnaki entity. I have no interest in that. My light body, it's on online already, and I I know what I'm doing, and the uh, it's happening to many people, but they are very interested in the energy, especially the entrance portals, that I can open entrance portals. I have done that, and the moment I did it, I was already watched by the military secret service, because they knew that there was a rare solar eclipse, and they have been listening, and they knew that I would do something, but they didn't know what I would do. And I had done something else 2 days before that. um, they they can't understand me, yeah, or they can't understand the energy involved in this work. But when I opened the entrance portals, it was planned. It took. I was in Stockholm, in Stockholm city, in a place called. Uh, uh, it's a big park there, you know. But I know where I shifted my awareness and put my sensation on some geometric nodes located high above the clouds, and I started this spin rotation, both left, right spin, not just manifesting. I became the portal. The, it's I when I work with my whole sensations, my whole feelings. It's not just visualizing, it's the whole being is working. The military helicopter, two airplane with special radar. I know these planes started to hover around the portal. Two military helicopters started to also hover around the portal, because they came when I opened the portal from inside. I invited them to come in and clear the the things that the occult elite is doing the same day. It was
Yeah,
not
let's talk about that for a second. Um, Somebody
many
came
people
up with a
did
question here
this.
about. Yeah, no, I'm sure of that. I want to just get your perspective on what you just said, and maybe where people are at with it. You said the thing about you no longer operate, and I agree with you, and I do my best to do the same. I'm totally open to all aspects of what the human calls dark and light, right? This is not about that. There's a story. For instance, there's a story. There's all kinds of stories. There's a story of the Anunnaki, of them being in control. There's stories of QAnon and Trump and the good people taking over. And what I'm really getting out of what you're saying is that's not where it's at. Where it's at is we all have the ability, what you and others are doing, opening portals, anchoring the truth to the earth, basically, to put it in a few words, and that energetic situation or scenario is noticeable, but it's not control. It cannot be affected or controlled by the Swedish secret military or any other energy here, because it's a physical energy, right? I mean, you're talking about bringing something on into the earth that's such a powerful force that energetically it can be seen by the deep government or whatever you want to, or whoever you want to refer to, but it can't be stopped, right? It can't be stopped. And the more of us that do it, the more of that stuff goes away, so to speak. What are your views on that?
Uh, those who uh, the the uh, those in Swedish military secret service, uh, they uh, people get chosen by beings connected to other star locations. Uh, but those beings are in contract with, in agreement that they can, and that they can use that person's body. They make rituals calling in beings from the empire, and the empire is it's fourth density empire. We are going to 50, but this was the previous history of Earth, and why the exopolitical situation about different star systems sending traders or diplomats to make some deals, to hide. Earth is protected to hide stuff here, to hide stuff that are valuable, and they get technology if they help those, different countries are connected to different military or secret military groups, are connected to different fraction within this huge empire. An Anunnaki empire, or what you call it. It's a huge, enormous empire. But they work. They don't just go and take over a planet. They do it very, very. They have strategy that can be like a strategy for 3,000 years strategy, you know.
Yeah,
It-
way ahead of us. Yeah. So
so
which goes back to my question. Okay.
so
No, I was going to ask you.
the
Okay.
secret military service, they are just following the ancient way of letting other star beings who really want Earth to be controlled, because Earth is seen as trophy by them, you know, the
Yeah.
beauty, the
Yeah.
variation. So they have ability when they do this ritual. They make an agreement that this being can enter their body and operate from their body. Then this being is connected to perhaps a fraction in the empire, and this being will. It's not one. It's a team. You know, it's a team of beings.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
they surveillance of astral field. They want to know everything what's happening in the astral fields, you know, and they have the ability. They can read human beings that have no special gifts, but making agreement with being from Anunnaki to, and they call it selling this soul to devil, but you don't sell the soul to devil. You just sell your, not sell, you borrow your body. No one should, I don't want to judge, I don't do that, but they let other beings
Yeah.
integrate,
Yeah.
and then that person will suddenly have this magic abilities. He can sense other thoughts, and he can read others' mind, and some can even teleport themselves. You know, those David Copperfield, those performance magicians, they do the same thing. They bend physical laws. So the secret military services, they bend physical laws. They don't operate by the normal laws that we hear in mainstream media.
Right. Right. And so as you describe the empire, as you describe this situation, like with this example of having the ritual, having the consent, to have a team, basically, you know, we're talking
Yeah.
multidimensionality, enter a body. It
Yes, yes.
sounds like there's still some in that storyline, opposing forces. We can call it polarity. I guess what I'm getting at is that even though these entities that you're talking about don't operate in physical law and they walk with us, the fact remains that we all have full access to all of our multidimensionality, and we're the ones making the call here. We are getting to certain expanded levels of awareness where we understand that at every dimension, at every level, we have sovereignty if we wish to exercise that sovereignty and therefore participate in how this world and this universe looks. Is that true or false from your perspective?
No, I didn't catch your question, brother.
Well, I guess let me
If
let me shorten it up. Let me shorten it up. So many people at so many different levels, including myself, and I'm just saying, get caught up in the stories of whether it be fourth dimensional, fifth dimensional, third dimensional, QAnon, Trump. It's not the stories, it's us, isn't it? Isn't it us coming into what we are, who we are, and what we're a part of? And what we are is creation. I mean, are the stories any different than synchronicities or messages or downloads? I mean, we are in this present moment. From your perspective, what is the best thing we can do to serve the collective and serve ourselves?
the best way we can Uh, uh, we the best way to serve the collective. You know, uh, when I write that's excellent question. That and I want to give you a deep answer. How to best serve the collective? Forgive yourself, forgive others. Forgive yourself, forgive others. Brother, let me just read one thing for you, because I think it's time that we need to just uh, seek that uh, seek that energy that is seeking us. Do you understand me?
Yes, I do.
Is
Yes, I do. When you
seek that
describe that,
higher aspects of me. That higher aspect of me is seeking me, because we had an agreement that, Bilal, when you are uh, here, then you should just um, uh, don't care about what will happen tomorrow. It's like trust, just trust that. Yeah. Oh, I lost myself again,
so
brother. You know why?
no, you didn't. You made a great point. Your mind moves. You said, okay, I asked the question, how can we serve the collective? What's the best way we can serve the collective in that alignment where we're serving self, and it's all the same thing. And you said something very profound. All right. This gets rid of all the stories, that it really gets down to what we have been seeking, what I've been seeking, what you've been seeking. What we have been seeking is seeking us as much as we've been seeking it. And that is the mission. That is the
Yeah,
mission, is to understand that we are not this little bitty energetic consciousness, the human hybrid soul. We are as big as what is seeking us. What we are seeking is seeking us. And that's in a short explanation, what our primary focus is, or what our most beneficial action is, what our most important focus can be, and that is to what you're describing in so many ways, anchoring that pure truth to wherever we're at, and we just happen to be here. It's just that's such a simple, profound way to put it. It gets past all these stories that are just distractions.
just let me read you something that
Please.
that is uh, encoded somehow. You know, if you just listen to my voice and just relax, this is the uh, it's important to just be angry, be sad, feel your feelings, because we will lose those feelings soon. We will not be sad anymore. We will not be uh, uh, we will not have anxiety anymore. We will not have hatred anymore. Experience those feelings, because it's beautiful to experience what is going to leave you. And that's a part of you. You need to understand and feel it, experience it, and leave it. Just let it
Yeah,
have
leave it.
its own will. And it's about forgiveness, about forgiving someone. And I wrote something that I would love to just share it with you. The
Please do.
forgiveness of oneself, the forgiveness of the other self. The deeper meaning of forgiveness is the understanding that we all make mistakes. Often the same mistake several times. Others make mistakes, the same mistake several times. We all hurt each other, and we hurt and get hurt by others. Being able to forgive is more than just saying sorry or forgive me. It's a deeper knowing that everyone makes mistakes. Everyone can do something wrong, and everyone can hurt each other without knowing. And it's not easy to forgive for things that hurt us deeply. In the awakening, it becomes easier to get clarity on wider perspective, so obvious and so clear that we are reflections of each other, mirroring one another. Being able to forgive is being able to understand that we ourselves have been in the same situation. We know how it feels, and we ourselves have made the same mistakes. And that understanding can take several lifetimes for some to achieve. We are sensitive because we are all interconnected. Creation is one. It just is. Forgive yourself for everything you have done. Forgive others for all they have done. The good can be destructive. It's forced. Give a little at a time and let it come back for more. When we release the thought-based identity to see us as a reflection of the other selves, co-creators see itself as a soul aspect, curious to explore the whole endlessness, to release everything, see it live by its will, let everything happen by its will, a deeper meaning of the free will with the birth of the creation. Creation is the story of the one. With infinity stories, we love to experience and to become that story. Release all thoughts about yourself, your personality, your mind identity. There are only experiences and memories left, knowing that we are one and the same in the same story. So that was this.
Hey, can you put that, do you have a link? Can you put that link in the comments? That's a very powerful.
Yes, I wrote that a few years ago, and then I just made it more.
It sounded like you plugged into the, it sounded like you plugged into a duet of Buddha and Jesus are all wrapped up into one. That was perfect.
Thank you, brother.
So,
thank
you.
This is, I have been experiencing great expansion, the 1 month back or something, and many are waiting for the funds. I'm very passionate about working with dowsing tools to extract information from the future, and that information from the future, perhaps something that will happen after 1 hour, something that will happen in the future, 1 hour, and the information about the thing that will happen, Okay, how to extract that information and actually uh, and actually uh, things that it's very intricate process, this with timeline, not the timeline coding, but the uh, to create funds for the ascending tribes. You know, I before I leave, I would really love to crack the code in some big lottery, you know, and I'm very close to that. It's just that I will talk more about this next time. But when I have the money, I will give the money. My dream is to get that, mega million. They have 100 million, $200 million, but at least $100 million, and just give it to the ascending tribes, so they
Well,
can just continue their work, and I will continue my work in the next round instead. So I want to give you a gift before I leave, for those
so
who gonna stay and
yeah,
help the rest, you know.
yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah, this is you're a man. That's a lot of information. I mean, there's a lot of frequencies in that, in what you're in all your words. You know, and this is interesting because the first time you came on, uh, in the third eye, I saw a collective of 12 of you.
I I
It
want
was
to.
all you, and let me just say,
I've been
so
looking
and
for
what it,
those.
yeah,
Uh,
you
I
have,
have been looking for those all my life. Please tell me more.
yeah. No, well, yeah, and remember, I don't know if you remember, but what ended up happening was, they started speaking to me, which was you. It was your team, or at least, it was 12, and they were on this triangular thing, and they said, "We're going to give you an activation." Then you said to me, "Hey, Todd, I'm going to give you an activation." I was like, "Well, you just told me that." They just told me that, and it happened twice. But what I was going to say is, what is different about this time is I can actually see and feel those 12 aspects embodied in you. I'm not sure if it's 100% or whatever, but I'm actually getting your voice and their voice most of the time as one voice. And I wonder if in proportion to everybody's journey, if that's actually occurred for more people over the last few months as well.
Yes,
I
yes,
wonder.
yes. The those 12 are. I I know they are here, but I can't. I have never spoken to them or so, but I know they are with me. But I they are 12 in a physical body also. Perhaps the 12. Uh, it's very complicated. I don't know. It's
Wait a second. I think I know what you mean. So now you're saying those 12 are in a physical body walking the earth as well as having been up there. All right. I haven't
their
saw
higher
them.
aspect are there, you know, and
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
those 12 are the uh, those 12 are the my it's my group, it's those
Yeah.
I belong to.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful energy field that have been working in many galaxies, not only Earth, many galaxies.
That was
And
Althea, right?
and
They originate. You were. Go ahead.
it's it's uh, it's uh, it's it's oh, I'm getting very emotional now.
It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's actually better. I drew pictures of that, what I was telling you about. And I have them in my notebook somewhere. I'm looking right now.
You are part of my team, brother. You know
I
that.
know this is getting good.
You know that because they told you. They told you that you are part of my team, or I'm your team. You know what I mean. We
However
are.
that works. Well, and I'm going to tell you what happened after that show is that there was actually an experience interdimensionally or etherically. Morgan was involved. Other people were involved. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking to you now. That was a few months ago. I can see that the voices are becoming one with your own voice. And that's got to be, as the individual goes, so goes the collective. That's got to be happening to more and more of us where because like you said, it's not one that comes in, it's a team that comes in.
Mm,
And somehow or another, we're connected in that way, but also to each other, which is
yeah.
fascinating. Yeah. Oh, well, I wasn't going to say this, but Morgan said it. So, what happened after that show? You can't. We commune every night. We put our hands together, we lay down, and we connect. And four people that walked the earth came in spirit and merged with us. And you were the first one. You came in, you told us who you were, and you merged with us. And then three other brothers and sisters did the same thing. And you were the first one. And it was right after that show. And that's the truth. This is the
Oh,
real deal. This is why I go back to this whole thing about, and I know I sound like I'm beating a dead horse, and I just blocked somebody from making additional comments, but this is why I loved what you said about the dark and light. You don't operate there. QAnon and Trump operate in dark and light, and that's not nothing against them. I'm saying anything that we see outside of us that's been on this world stage through all of our history that's been given to us, there's been a war between dark and light. We're above that. We are embodying an energy that is above the battle of dark and light, that is above the battle of the galactic wars or the Orion wars or whatever. We are above that. We are anchored into this earth a higher perfection because of people like you. And it's validated by experiences like we just talked
brother,
about.
could we just how long time is it left?
I don't care.
Because
As long as you
I
want to
just
go. If you,
got so, and I
I know.
just want to go deeper within this feeling because I have been searching for you. I've been searching for so
We
many.
have all night. I just told Morgan you got to cancel the next show. I'm willing to stay on for hours. It doesn't matter to me. I'm with you because this is where the highest downloads, transmissions, activations, and code exchange come from. Somebody being this raw and real and authentic and sharing. That's what you're doing. It takes a lot of courage and bravery.
To finally find each other again. this release. This is amazing, brother. This is amazing.
I know. And you know another one of the ones that came in and merged with us. I'm not going to mention any names, but you know another one that you were talking to them today. She was another one that came in and merged with us after that show. See, this is, to me, this is what's important. This is what's important. This broadcasting, literally and energetically, these moments, the real-time conversations and sharing those things, so everybody knows they're not the weirdos anymore. Everybody knows they're not the outcasts. Everybody knows that they are universal soldiers that are anchoring the highest, purest consciousness into the physical, and it eradicates and gets rid of all that stupid shit with the dark and light and day and night and wrong and right and all that stuff. Man, we are universal soldiers and we're getting the job done. And
Brother,
thank you for having so much.
could I just yeah, I'm totally exhausted now. I'm totally
Yeah,
exhausted.
that's no problem. You ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
Yes,
Thank
that's no
you,
problem
brother.
at all.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank you,
sharing with
man.
us, and thank
We
you
will have
for what
more.
you do. I love you, man. I'm
I love
here.
you.
Morgan and I are here if you need to talk. I'll see you later. You take care. All right. Take care of
Morgan
yourself,
and
man.
I
All right?
love you both. I love you both.
I love you too.
Okay, bye.
All right.